What's going on, guys? DB here. It's the WGC St. Jude FedEx Classic. This is a DraftKings show. I think I'm kind of low. I'm going to be low energy DB tonight. I'm
Okay.
going to come out the gate low energy, and I'm going to stay low energy. No, I'm probably not. I'll pick it up a little bit.
So you're going to set the bar low and then just and
Yes.
maybe increase it or maybe not, but just keep it low.
Going to keep people guessing. Yeah, definitely tired AF today. Just one of those days. You know what I mean? It's the time of year. School starts back. You got all kind of kids doing things and buying stuff and worried about schedules and all the things, right? So I don't know, man. I just woke up at 4:30 in the morning. My mind was turning. I just couldn't shut it off. But we're here, and I did my research. I'm ready for the WGC. We got some picks. We're gonna have a good show tonight, even though I'm low energy DB. I just, and then sometimes it's just about keeping people guessing. I could yell in the microphone and say, "What up, golf at?" I could do all that, but it got to keep you guys guessing every now and then. Pat, you're refreshed and renewed after the vacation last week. We had our boy Willie Wilcox filling in, did a great job.
He did.
Are you good? You feeling good?
Yeah, feeling really good, refreshed, ready to go. I'm probably a little bit, I don't know. You're bringing me down a little bit. I was in a good mood when we started, and now all of a sudden you're,
yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, man. You know what? So you might have to carry me a little bit. We might have to have. This is if we're on a football team. If we're in the locker room, and maybe I'm down or something. I need you to kind of pick me up out there. I need to. You put me on your back and carry me across the goal line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Hey, but we are presented by Fantasy National Golf Club, and that fires me up because they're fantastic. So it's the best place to go. We've been using these guys for years. Okay. Best PGA Tour betting, DFS, whatever tools that you need. They're all right there on fantasynational.com/TJ. And when you use promo code TJ, tell them where you heard about it. Tell them it's the TJs, the Tour Junkies. You get 20% off any level membership, weekly, monthly, or annually. Go ahead and lock it in, okay? Just trust me. It's the best tool you need. It's all you need. And all the stats we reference are straight from fantasynational.com/TJ. I can't even imagine you not being a member of fantasynational.com. So just do it and trust us. Try it out. I think it's like $8 if you try it for the week, and then you can stop it. You can turn it off if you don't like it. And then send us an email and tell us why you didn't stick around. And then we'll chastise you and peer pressure you, and you'll be good. So fantasynational.com/TJ. Check it out. It's our go-to spot. Now, okay, I am going to get fired up for this, Pat. We had the Olympics last week, and yours truly delivered again with DB's Big Balls betting card. Sepp Straka, first round leader. Here it was, the betting card. Sepp Straka, first round leader at 120-1. Had him on the card. Now, listen, we had a couple emails. People saying, "Hey, I didn't see the card. You didn't put it in the article." This is why you got to follow us on social media. This is why you got to be in the Nut Hut, because when I don't, if it's a rare week where I don't do a full write up on tourjunkies.com, I always publish the card with the dollar amounts and everything on Twitter, on Instagram, and in the Nut Hut. So those of you that tailed that, you're welcome. The Big Balls betting
kind of small writing. I kind of wish it was in bigger writing underneath.
Well, I mean, you got to put in a little effort, Pat. Put in a little effort. Read a little.
There's a little disclaimer in there. You
just read a little bit. It says it right there, man. I gave 2 first-round leader picks, and I nailed it. Sepp Straka was the man. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Olympics and the betting, kind of some things that I took note of and learned in betting the Olympics. And it could apply to an event like this as well. We'll talk about that in the betting show. And also in the betting show, another installment of the best game show in the land, Nut Up or Shut Up, is going to be hitting your screens on YouTube or in your ears. If you're listening on podcasts, it's going to be on the betting show. I'm excited for tonight's show. We've got a new sponsor for this week's show. It's going to be great. Daniel Bait Up, Aussie DB, light the candle, DB. I know I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I swear, I'm just sleepy. You know what? We still aren't full time. You know what I mean? I said that was one of my resolutions. I needed people to help DB get full time, right? So I got to do all kind of extra stuff because you guys aren't spreading the TJ gospel enough. You know what I mean? So like, this is really on you. It's really on you guys for not getting me
There's a
to the
turnaround
place
there.
I need to be. So you need to be telling people about the freaking show is what you need to be doing. You need to quit holding it to yourself, get more listeners, and that gets DB full time. And then I'm not so tired for the show and I can do more stuff and we can do more stuff. We can have a great time. But no, I got to go slave over a real job and then come do this because you guys are just hoarding us to yourself. And it pisses me off, Pat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, you got to spread the gospel. The TJ gospel is, I mean, we've been around for what, 5-6 years now. It's time to get this going. You know, let's get DB working full time.
6 years, man. I mean, give me a break.
Tired of all this. Come on, people.
Another hit last week. I got to give some props. Our boy Crazy Marcus finally hit a freaking LPGA Tour winning bet. 28-1. Whoever that girl was that won, I'm not even going to begin to say her name. Actually, I wish I had her name so you could try to say it. But it was 28-1. He wrote her up. That was also on tourjunkies.com. So, I mean, last week for free, you got a 28-1 hit and a 120-1 hit for free. And you were entertained. Like, what more do you want? How can you know what I mean? And betting, you can share that, right? There's no advantage or disadvantage to you sharing that with your boys. You know, I get it with DFS. You're like, oh, I don't want to tell my friends about it because then they might beat me in my weekly DraftKings league or something. Betting, like, let's all just get a piece, get that bag, as our girl Nita says. Just we can all have a piece. So, shout out Crazy Marcus for the 28-1 hit. Marcus, put her. I see Marcus in the YouTube chat. Put her name in the chat for Pat to say. Also, if you're watching live on YouTube, we appreciate it. Thanks for doing that. If you're watching it all on YouTube and this is not live, put a comment in the chat. We would appreciate it. It'd be really nice for you to do that. It just helps things. It helps stuff go. It helps people discover us. It helps spread the TJ gospel. So maybe in the chat, put in a reason why people should listen to the show. Just do that. Your one reason why people should listen to the show or why they should watch the show, put that in the chat. Pat, you want to give that name a shot?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try this. Pajari Ananarakarn. Ananarakarn. I think that was close.
Crap. Sam's telling me to push a certain button and I don't have it. Dang it, Sam. I'm sorry. I don't have it. Yeah, honestly, man, I don't know. I don't know that I can do any better. Pajari. I do like Pajari. I like where you went with that. I feel like that's got to be it.
Yeah,
Pajari.
Yeah.
Ananarakarn? Ananarakarn? I think that's it.
Ananarakarn. Yeah, I think I added a couple N's in there.
Jeez, say that out loud if you're listening in your car right now. If you're driving in your car, say that out loud. Yeah, so Substraka, Ananarakarn, it was an amazing week for free content. You know what I mean? Pat leaves and we hit 2 big bets. What can we say? What's the podcast use tonight, buddy?
Little Wild Leap tonight. They sent me this new. Actually, this is fantastic. They sent me this. It's called Grapefruit. Actually, that's how it reads. Grapefruit. It actually does not have grapefruit juice in it. They put that on the back. They're like specific to say that. And you don't taste a lot of grapefruit, but it's a very good double IPA. It's got 8.2% alcohol in here. So it's very good, and I'm enjoying it. It's probably one of my, and I like all their beers that they've sent me. I especially like the vodka. This is one of my favorites so far. It really is.
I'm drinking their vodka right now with a little transfusion, a little tranny.
There you go. Nice. You know what I discovered on my vacation?
Oh, what?
You know, so there are a lot of diet drinks that I don't like, that they have like bad aftertaste and whatever, you know, like Diet Coke or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try to keep the sugar intake. I try to keep it low, not too much sugar, because I'm known for some late night Oreo eating and stuff like that. So I got to take that. I got to take that into consideration. So over the trip, over my vacation, I had quite a few transfusions, but I used diet ginger ale instead of regular ginger ale. It was pretty good. It actually was not bad. I got to say. I was surprised. I really was.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, Marcus. $1.99. This should get DB full time. No. Yeah, I mean, we're on our way. We're $1.99 closer to full time. So there you go. But yeah, thank you for that, Marcus. That Pat, I don't know if I could do. I don't know. Like sometimes the transfusion, especially if it's a weak pour on the vodka, can be a little sugary. And maybe if you knock
I don't
out
like
a little
things
bit
too
of the
sweet.
sugar with the diet piece, that could be okay. So I could get down with that. That's not terrible. I'm wondering, like, double IPAs seem a lot more common now than they used to be. I think it's inflation is really what it comes down to, and I wonder if, like, our kids are gonna be drinking, like, quad IPAs. You know? What are you doing? What
I mean, look, Spaz, what are you talking about? I got a
Oh, yeah.
10.
No, you're kinda I was actually gonna say that. Spazbite thought wait a minute. Are we getting oh,
I
oh.
think it's this light. This stupid light really like it if I turn the light off,
You
like
just
I'm not
you
gonna
don't look
look
as
like a
tan as you have before. Like, I've seen you come back with that light, and you look like a California Raisin character. And
I'm
now you're
telling
just
you, in
you just kinda look the
person,
same.
I'm way more tan, but whatever. Spaz.
Yeah.
I even
I can't believe you just lifted your shirt up for the people. What? Oh god. That was
uh
we
well,
almost
I
saw
mean,
you
you've already talked
on
about
the
that
show.
on this show that you're gonna be all, you know, low key and tired and everything. You said pick up the pace this week, so I'm starting us off right.
This is OnlyFans. Yeah, this is Pat's breakthrough into OnlyFans. Actually, maybe that's another
I get tanner the further I go away from the light. Look.
No, no, you don't. It looks exactly the same. That's another comment you can put in the YouTube. What could I do on OnlyFans to get me full time? If I did something on OnlyFans that made me enough money that then I could do TJ full time. That's my workaround. It really does kind of piss me off how many chicks are making $1 million on OnlyFans just showing their things, just showing their stuff. You know what I mean? Like what you just did right there. If you were a hot girl, you would have made $1 million this year.
Well, people probably would pay me not to be on OnlyFans. Like I could they just be, just I'm going to be on OnlyFans, folks. Nope, we're going to send you a super chat for $1.99, like Crazy Marcus just did.
Well, for you to get on OnlyFans, Pat, it probably means that you got to use a little more Nutrafol. Nutrafol is kind of this new stuff, and it's going to help with the thinning hair that we all see right now. We see it, man. We kind of do. You know what I mean, Pat? You can't hide it.
No.
You got it. You got thinner hair, so it's thinning. You're getting older. I get it, and you got to choose. Sometimes you feel like you got to choose between natural, being natural, and maybe a more holistic solution. But there's a solution, okay? And it's Nutrafol. It's the hair supplement that goes beyond genetics to target stress, which also can affect your hair loss, Pat. Hormones, nutrition, metabolism, and environmental factors that could all be playing a role in them hairs letting loose, baby. It's clinically shown to improve hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage without compromise. Some of y'all are out there compromising. Some of y'all are out there compromising with your head hair. You really are, and it's a shame, but you know it. You know it's real. You know it's true. You looked in the mirror and you saw it today, and you know I'm not lying. So be honest with yourself. 21 natural ingredients that also support sex drive, better sleep, and less stress too. Does that sound fun? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a clinical study, men showed progressive improvement in hair growth and thickness after 3 and 6 months. Nutrafol is also trusted and recommended by more than 1,500 top doctors. All right. We got some bald or balding men on the show that listen to the show. We know we do. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code Tour Junkies to save $15 off your first month subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, free shipping on every order. Get $15 off Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Tour Junkies. So appreciate that. Listen, if you're one of those, you don't have to put it in the chat. You don't have to tell anybody, but we know you're there. We know you're watching. We know you're listening, and you need to go to Nutrafol.com/Tour Junkies, promo code Tour Junkies. Awesome. All right, Pat, you're back in the saddle. Course breakdown: TPC Southwind, WGC-FedEx St. Jude in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah,
Memphis. I'm starting to feel it now. I'm starting to wake up a little bit.
Yeah. They got good barbecue in Memphis. Have you ever been to Rendezvous Ribs? Woo!
That place I've never been. But anyway, tell us about the golf course. We're quite familiar with this place, but
Yeah, great course. It is a par 70, 7,238 yards. You've got 66 players in the field this week. No cut. It's a World Golf Championship, so there's no cut, just like we had last week for the Olympics. We got Bermuda greens, Zoysia fairways with Bermuda rough. A lot of water hazards out here, DB. I think they're on like 11 holes. You look at that yardage, 7,200 yards, and you think that's not too long by tour standards. But 8 of the par 4s on this course measure over 450 yards. So those are beasts of that. I mean, those are tough par 4s.
Yeah.
Those would all be par 5s for me, basically.
Hotter than Devil Dick out there, though.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be
all's going to travel.
That was going to be my next comment. It's going to be hot AF, which is probably going to magnify the difficulty even more because this is a difficult course. It is. I mean, it's always plays pretty tough. When you look at it, though, your great ball strikers, your guys that are good on approach, those are going to be key this week. If the past champions haven't necessarily all finished in like the top 20 in driving accuracy, but everybody, like if you listen to quotes from the players and things like that, they all talk about being pretty accurate off the tee. And when you look at the past champions, you've got guys like Koepka and DJ who've played well here and won, Berger and whatever else. But then, going back in the day, this was a Brian Gay course. Brian Gay won this tournament. Okay. Justin Leonard won here twice. All right. Ben Crane, Fabian Gomez, who's known, they're all known to be accurate players. So I do think there is something to be said for a little bit of driving accuracy. Not saying it's you measure it, it's like the main thing you weigh this week, but I do think it makes sense to look at guys that are pretty accurate off the tee. But look, got to be a great on approach to attack these greens. You got to score and take advantage when you can, especially on the par 5s. Pretty easy par 5s. Both of them are eagle chances for these guys. So I think that's going to be important that you play well on those 2 par 5s. But definitely like approach, greens, and regulation. Those are the top 2 things that really show up out of all the champions here. Scrambling actually shows up a little bit too. But overall, I think it's just a tough, real technical course. A lot of dog legs out here. You need some patient players that, don't get necessarily too aggressive, but aggressive and know this course well. And you got to putt well on Bermuda. That obviously is going to help. Okay. You got to have a good putting week on Bermuda. For me, stats, I mentioned, ball striking, approach. Going to look at some scrambling and driving accuracy just a little bit. Like putting on Bermuda. I like par 4 scoring in that 450 to 500 yard range. And, of course, some form and course history. A couple things to look at when you're thinking about this course and you're thinking about history and whatever else. This was not a WGC event at this course until 2019. That was the first year. So 2019 and 2020 are WGC. Before that, it was the St. Jude Classic, 2018 and before. So some things I've looked at have the history a little jumbled. They have the WGC history as opposed to the St. Jude history. And so you got to make sure you're looking at the right thing there. Your past champions, though, Justin Thomas, 2020. Brooks Koepka, the first year they had a WGC event was in 2019, DJ 2018. Berger won it twice, 2017 and 2016. If you will remember, this course was actually, or this tournament was the week before the U.S. Open, traditionally, before they moved it to the WGC event. So there you go. I saw a lot of, every time I'm doing my course preview, I see, DB's face. I look at it a lot. There's a lot of times when I don't even want to look at your face. But during the course preview, for some reason, I like to look at your face. And it goes from eye roll to, agreement to it runs the gamut on all things when I'm going over the course preview. So it's interesting. That makes me really want to hear your thoughts. So I'm glad that you do that, to be honest.
Did you see an eye roll today?
I thought I did, but maybe I did. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe your eyes were tired and they rolled to the back of your head.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, you actually did see one. Whenever you did the par 4, 450 to 500, we've talked about this. It's the reason you walked off the show that night. I just hate those proximity stats. But yes, I won't. What? What?
Good Lord.
The chat. I'm glad you pointed out the St. Jude Classic WGC thing, and you mentioned some really crappy winners of this event, Brian Gay, and those. I think it's important to note that's when it was the St. Jude Classic and the field.
I get it. And before the U.S. Open,
very bad.
But the type players, what I'm talking about, it's still.
I think you're right. It could be an accuracy type situation. Now, that's not what we've seen the first 2 years of a WGC setup and a WGC field. We've seen Brooks and JT, but I mean, any one of the longer hitters on tour like those guys, if they're having a good week with the driver, it's over anywhere. Like they can win it anywhere. But I do think this is one of those places that a lot of different skill sets off the tee could get it done. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to your approach play. A lot of the water comes into play on the approach shots. And then, like you said, scrambling. These are some of the smallest greens on the PGA Tour rotation. So being able to get up and down is important. Also, looking at the winning score totals, I think 13 under and 16 under was where we were at the last 2 years for the WGC event. It's kind of been all over the place for the St. Jude Classic, as little as 10 under from what I saw. It's going to be interesting. It doesn't look like there's really going to be much weather at all. There may be a little wind on Sunday is kind of what I see now, but obviously that could change. It could get windy here. It is TPC Southwind. You would think they might have a little breeze blow through every now and then. It's going to be hot and dry. That's basically it. But it's a WGC, right? 60 guys, no cut. You're going to get 4 rounds out of everybody unless they withdraw or something happens. John Rahm's not here, which sucks.
Yeah.
COVID stuff. So he's not here. But I mean, the best players in the world are here. And I think for DFS purposes, just keep in mind that it's just one of those weeks where like a lot of guys either love weeks like this because they like the variability of it and they want the 4 rounds. A lot of guys will use the same kind of bankroll management or play the same amount of money they normally do every week. Some guys will scale back. I prefer to kind of scale back a little bit on weeks like this. I like to bet. I would rather bet this event than I do probably play a lot of DFS. But, if you're going to play DFS, I think, consider leaving money on the table and I think in weeks like this, ownership matters a lot more. It matters every week, but I think having that ownership leverage matters a ton. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second when we talk about the 9K and above range. But it's a pretty, it's a stacked field. And the 6K range is really good. I mean,
yeah, it is. There's a lot of guys.
There's a lot of names I like here in the 6K range. I mean, I would never make a full lineup with the 6K range, but it's a good 6K. I mean, you can definitely do a lot of different things here. So let's get into it, Pat. Let's talk about the top tier, the 9K and above range on DraftKings. We're going to give you 3 GPP plays and 1 fade that we're feeling tonight. So at the top of the board, let's see, we got Colin Morikawa coming over from Olympics as well as Xander Schauffele. We didn't even mention him, who freaking won the gold medal. You got Brooks, JT, Hovland, Louis back, Bryson's back, Cantlay's back, Berger, Scheffler. Wait a minute, why are those prices off? Those prices were off. Sorry, on the overlay. I was like, wait a minute.
Sorry about that, fellas.
God dang it, Sam. Listen,
come on, Sam. Sam's asleep also.
If you want to apply to be a new producer, just put that in the YouTube comments. We can replace Sam next week.
Please do.
No, we love Sam. Producer Sam's great. By the way, we didn't talk about this. Producer Sam is on a hell of a run himself. He hit Lucas Glover at like 150 to 1 pre-tournament. Who else did you?
No, it was only 55 to 1 on Glover.
You did
shitty field.
Who else?
I hit Champ.
Champ. Yeah, it was Champ.
What?
Producer Sam's picks are. I mean, thank God I hit that Strzok of first round leader. I'd be out of a job to Sam. Okay, let's talk about the top of this field. I think I'm going to start with my fade, Pat, and I'm going to kind of cop out here. My fade in this range is going to be the 2 highest projected owned players come Wednesday night. That's my fade. That's it. I don't care who they are. I really don't. If you're playing in a large field GPP, I'm willing to fade. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm willing to fade the 2 highest owned players in this range, assuming that they're like over 20-something%. I'm willing to just back out. I think this range is so stacked, and the difference between the names in this field or the names in this range is not that big of a difference. Like, these are the best players in the world, the hottest players in the world right now. I just don't see much of a difference. So if if Spieth and
who would you project out of this range are going to be the top 2 highest owned?
I think I'm gonna say Brooks is one, and I'm gonna say, man, it might be Louis again. I'm gonna say Brooks and Louis. And now listen, I like both of them, and it is hard to fade anyone here, really. I mean, my heart wants to fade Bryson because my heart always leans that direction. But I feel like you could get away with just saying, okay, cool, those are the 2 guys that are really, really popping. So I'm gonna pivot here, because you're gonna pivot to a world-class player. You're not pivoting. You're not sacrificing much at all. So if Brooks is the guy, you can play. I mean, anybody in that 10K and above range, or even, from JT up, those are your world-class players in this field. So take the leverage. I think that you could make the argument, and you should, if you're building multiple lineups, that you can start your team at the JT range, like the 9K, and just fade the whole 10K and play a more balanced approach. I think you could do a lot of different things with this field, and partially because there's so many good names in the 6K, like we just said. So that's kind of my theory there. That's where I'm leaning so far. Now, don't at me when the chalk bomb is the highest popular guy and then he wins. But I'm just saying, from a game theory standpoint, it could happen. But my favorite plays, if I got to give 3 favorites, which is hard, Brooks is one of them. I mean, I do love Brooks here. Jordan is probably one of them. And Scotty Scheffler, I'm still the love affair with Scotty Scheffler is still there. It's still very present.
I feel like it started with me.
It has not waned.
I introduced you to Scotty Scheffler from a love standpoint. I mean, you knew who he was. But
I kind of stole your man a little bit, but I was all over him for the Open, finished T8, so I'm not going to get off of him. Why would I do that? What I love about Scheffler is he feels like one of those guys that's just a really good combo of distance and accuracy off the tee. I talked about that at the Open. Total driving, he's got it. He's one of the best. Aggressive young player, ready for that first breakout victory, and a great value at 9,100. So Scotty's probably my favorite in this range. And then I'll just, Brooks and Spieth are extremely attractive to me as well.
Yeah. Well, Brooks was my favorite here. I've got him as one of my GPP plays. I know you talked about him being a possible fade if he's super high owned. I do think it's going to be spread out a little bit up here as far as ownership. I think it's a tough question right now to say who you think are going to be the top 2 highest owned.
I can tell you right now, if Brooks and Jordan are up there in terms of the highest owned, I will have a ton of DJ. I know he's not peak DJ right now, but his record here,
it's damn good.
Record at WGC event. I'm telling you, if DJ's flying a little low on the ownership radar, then I'm in here.
I don't mind it. But yeah, I like Brooks a lot here. I mean, you look at, if you want to talk about checking boxes, he's top 10 in ball striking and approach. He's top 10 in greens and regulation, top 15 in par 4 scoring. Putts well on Bermuda grass greens. So everything about Brooks makes sense. And this is a type tournament that he's going to play well at. So, and he's been playing well lately anyway. So 10-6, I really like him. I like Usti.
Okay, I want to talk about Usti. Because our boy Cutmaker Jeff is in the chat. Jeff S. Cutmaker Jeff, good dude. Just says, Louis will be the low-owned nuts, boys. Jeff, I disagree. I'm looking at Louis right now. Now, I like Louis, and you're about to get into it too, Pat. But why do we think he's going to be low-owned with a runner-up 3rd, runner-up 18th, runner-up 8th in his last 6 events? And at the Open, he was on average owned at 19%. At the U.S. Open, 19%. I think people are going to still be all over Louis.
See, I don't know. I actually think he is going to be a little bit lower-owned. Now, I don't think he's
Why?
Because people don't
fatigue?
like playing.
Is
they
it
don't
Louis
like
fatigue?
playing. There's fatigue, but he did. He's not coming. From overseas and Japan and whatever else. There's several guys up here that are. You got Xander, Colin, Rory coming over, Victor.
But people
Hideki.
do like playing him because he's been 20% owned his last 3 events.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but when you look at this, the over 9K guys. I think it's a good mix where you can, there's going to be a lot of spread out ownership on these guys. I do think UC will be popular. I'm not saying he's not going to be popular, but I still like him anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Regardless,
I do
if
too.
all the chalk that I would want to eat, actually, I'd probably eat that over I would Koepka.
You'd eat Louis?
I'd eat Louis. Sexy time, I like to call it. So I do like UC this week. And then I'm surprised you didn't mention this guy because I thought you would. Coming off a miscut where he just absolutely destroyed a lot of folks, including you, DD.
Cantlay.
Patrick Cantlay.
I know, man. I'm kind of pissed at him right now. I've been
you gotta forget in DFS. You gotta
I've been
forget
a rider I can't let guy. You're right. It's no cut. I mean, hell, yeah.
I mean, the dude can score, checks a ton of boxes when you look at ball striking, approach, all those kind of things. I mean, his driving accuracy isn't great, but still, I mean, I think Cantlay makes a lot of sense. And if you talk about ownership, coming off that miscut where he pissed a lot of people off like you, maybe you'll get him a little bit lower owned. I think that price though is very appealing for him. So,
listen, in a field like this with a stacked top end like this, no cut event, 60 guys, winning score is probably going to be in that 15 to 17 under number. I just don't I don't want to answer any questions in the live Nut Hut chat on Wednesday night about this range because play who you want to play. I really think you can fade the whole range. You can play the chalk up here and leverage somewhere else. You can fade the chalk up here and play the chalk somewhere else. You can talk yourself into one guy, talk yourself out of the other guy. They're all, like I said in the beginning, world-class players playing well, the best in this field. There's all the win equity is in this 9K and above range. I just don't know that I could really talk anyone out of another, out of a play here. And I like them all. So I just think in this spot, you just play who the hell you want to play.
Yeah. I if I'm going to pinpoint a fade for me, it's going to be Rory. Just going with kind of the travel theme coming off.
That's the only angle. If you want to play.
I think his, as good as he is recently on approach and ball striking, a lot of those things, his driver still concerns me. And on this course, I think if he ends up spraying it all over the place, he could be in a lot of trouble. So, and I say that as soon as I say that, I'm going to have Rory in 60% of my
leagues. You love that. All right, let's move on to the 8K range, Pat. Two tournament plays and a fade. Who you got? I'll let you start off.
All right, so the 2 tournament plays. One, now I do think this guy's going to be high owned, actually. Now, people may tell me different because I suck at predicting ownership. That's been known. True. That's been known for 5 or 6 years.
Disclaimer. Pat cannot predict ownership.
Matthew Fitzpatrick at 8,800. I love him this week. The guy is in great recent form. You look at his ball striking, checks the box there. He's top 10 in the field in driving accuracy. He is number 1 if you look at the last 100 rounds putting on Bermuda grass greens. And then just look at the last 2 years here when it was a WGC event. He was T6 last year, T4 in 2019. And you could argue he's even in better form this year coming into this event. So I love Fitzpatrick at 8,800 there. And then this will be an interesting guy, I think, this week. Webb Simpson. Now, he was so terrible at the U.S. Open. And, we talked to his caddy beforehand, and we didn't get a whole lot on his, health and whatever else, but he missed the cut. And then a lot of people didn't play him because of that in the Open Championship. And he has a T20, or 19 or something like that. So he played better there. I think this is a great course for Webb. He's had a few weeks off. You look at the last 2 years here. You finished T12 in 2020, second alone in 2019. So I'm a big fan of Webb this week. And if I get Webb at pretty low ownership, I'll be all over that. Fade is going to be Patrick Reed at 8,700. I think Patrick Reed is not all there right now. He doesn't excite me all that much. I think he's, you look at his form, nothing's great. I feel like you could get maybe a 20th place finish out of him this week, but that's not what you need in your DFS lineups out of Patrick Reed. You look at the stats for him. I mean, they're the ball striking and approach is good.
He's been rough off the tee.
But his, I don't know.
Okay.
He's not terrible in the stats. I will say that. But I'm just not a fan of Patrick Reed. Not going to play him at 8,700.
If you're at all a travel fearmonger, then Patrick Reed is the worst. I mean, he went from London to Minnesota to Tokyo, then now to Memphis in 4 straight weeks. Now, he actually played a little better in the Olympics than maybe some thought he would, given that travel. But yeah. All right, I'll make this pretty quick. I love the Fitz play. I've been all over him all year. Why would I stop now? I'm there for Fitzy, so completely agree with you there. Now, I am going to play a guy who did play last week in the Olympics in Tokyo. Finished T14, all 4 rounds in the 60s, and he finished 15th here last year, and he's just been on quite the run, and that's Abraham Ancer. He checks all the boxes that you want him to check, short of maybe a little around the greens, been a little sus lately, but I mean, a stud, bogey avoidance. He's 14th in the field. Putting on Bermuda, he checks it. Strokes getting off the tee, 7th in the field. Approach, 23rd in the field over the last 24 rounds. So, and he also, we learned this last week, finally got Dale Vallely back on the bag. Yes. Fantastic news. We love Dale. Interviewed him on the show a few years ago. Hilarious guy, and it's his longtime caddy. It's the guy that he's had all that success with, but Dale had some work visa issues. He's a Canadian citizen, so he's been stuck in Canada, and he finally got back over. He's with Abe, and it's great to see. So I'm a big fan of Fitzy and Abe here. The fade is going to be old Tommy Ladd. I was kind of a believer in Tommy. He actually made the betting card at the for the Olympics. I was starting to buy it a little bit. I was starting to buy his excitement for Tokyo, the visor, the hair flowing in the wind, those cankles that dude's got. The ball striking, just, I was starting to kind of get it. And I'm not really a Tommy guy. So now I'm back to still not being a Tommy guy is what I'm going to do. He's just underperforming. Like, he just continues to underperform. He can't seem to put 4 together. He had bookend 70 rounds of 70 at the Olympics in Tokyo, which is 1 under par, but that's not what you need to do when like 18 under wins the thing. So, and if you look on the PJ in terms of the PJ Tour stats over the last 24 rounds, bottom half of the field in approach, near dead last and off the tee, bottom half of the field in putting on Bermuda. That's for the strokes gained events. But I'm not feeling Tommy Fleetwood. 8K now coming back over from Tokyo. I'm not buying it. He's not. I got on him 1 week. I gave it a ride. Now I'm done. I'm back off. I usually don't play him. So,
okay.
All right. Let's see. Oh, before we get into this, we got to remind people to have a drink. Go get a drink. And when it's not, when it's not,
you don't have to remind me that.
True. Well, if you're with your friends, you're playing golf, or maybe you're not playing golf, or maybe you're not with your friends. Maybe you're by yourself. You're with your significant other, your dog. It's a great thing to do to go try out the old Arnold Palmer Spiked. Now, we've talked about Arnold Palmer Spiked on the show a couple times. It's classic taste, iced tea, lemonade, but 5% ABV, and while that's not a lot, but it's enough. You know what I mean? It's enough to be responsible.
It's enough.
It's great. And it's made with real juice, brewed teas. It's got a smooth flavor. It's fantastic. Okay. It's timeless, really. So, fairway, not, if you're in the fairway, you're sweating your hair follicles out the top of your head, and you need something to cool you off, Arnold Palmer Spiked is the way to go with that 5% ABV. And you can get it in multi-packs or tall 24-ounce cans. That's really what you need to know. So you can sip that all day on the lake, on the water, whatever you do. So you can find Arnold Palmer Spiked in a store near you at arnoldpalmerspiked.com/Tour Junkies, or search for it on Drizzly, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, and Instant Cart. That's arnoldpalmerspiked.com/Tour Junkies to find out where it at. So 2021 Hornell Brewing Company, Memphis, Tennessee, by the way, malt beverage and natural flavor. Celebrate responsibly with Arnold Palmer Spiked over there in Memphis, right there. Maybe there'll be some Arnold Palmer Spiked walking around TPC Southwind in the hands of a fan, or maybe smuggled in the bag of a player. Who knows? We know a couple guys that might do that. All right,
I would do it if I was a tour player.
Oh, do you? Blake says he's got a case in the fridge right now. He says they are the shit. Thank you, Blake. Thanks for that, Helm. Oh, Helm diver. There he is. See, so there you go. There's the testimonial right there from old Blake. Good stuff. All right, 7K range. I'm gonna make this make this pretty quick and dirty. Normally I have such a hard time narrowing it down in the
Well,
7K
there's not a
range.
whole lot of guys here. I mean, usually
I
it's
know.
twice as.
Thank God. But I have 3 very clear favorites to me, and I feel like I'm not going to talk myself out of these guys by the end of the week, which is refreshing. Sometimes I'll do that, but I'm going to definitely roll with Harris English, former winner at this golf course, St. Jude Classic, been playing fantastic. Now 2 wins on the PGA Tour season. You want boxes checked? Sure, he's got all of them. So there you go. Harris English 7,600. Terrell Hatton at 7,400. I mean, what's his world golf ranking right now? What's Terrell?
I don't know, but I had a feeling you weren't going to go there. So,
well, I mean, you see his name, and it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, he's 13th in the world right now. Terrell Hatton and Harris English is 14th in the world, and those 2 are in the 7K. I mean, Rory McIlroy is 12th in the world right now. Like, they are these are some values right here to me. Now, here's some chalk I might eat. I might just chow down on these 2 boys, and then I'll fade those 2 highest owned players in the 9K range, having some leverage, like I said, and roll with that. Just love them both. I mean, I don't even care. And Hatton really checks all the boxes as well.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the stuff we talked about earlier, in terms of what was important to us, let's see. He did play here the last 2 years and didn't play well, but I don't care. I mean, it just doesn't matter with stuff like this. And then my next favorite play is a guy that I just am never on, but I am. Sergio Garcia.
You have got to be kidding me.
So I guess they're like the 3 clear names in this range, because you had all 3. Can't see. Okay, I guess that's what that means. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it.
I write your name next to the ones that we have agreement with.
Yeah,
all 3. That was surprising to me. I was wondering when you started. I was about to say something. I wonder if he'll even get one. Well, I knew you'd get one with English, but I was surprised that you went and had Sergio.
I mean, he's been playing good. I mean, obviously, it's all about the putter for Sergio still, always and forever. But 4 rounds, you don't have to worry about him missing the cut. Big event, like it's very enticing. So I'm there. My fade is Billy Ho, 50th in approach, 62nd in around the green, 42nd in bogey avoidance all over the last 24 rounds. His last top 20 was in February. Now, it was at a WGC event, but that was his last top 20. So I'm not buying Billy Ho. He's a Gator. Screw him. So that's it.
All right. Well, this will be quick because I don't have to talk about my 3 GPPs because they were all the same as yours. My fade is actually Willie Z.
Man,
I am just.
What do we know about his back injury or his whatever?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
He may be a Daniel Berger where he hits 1 tee shot at a WGC and withdraws and collects his $40,000 check.
Yeah, or he may just freaking win the tournament. I don't think he will. I don't see him putting well on these greens. And, I don't think his ownership's going to probably be that high, but still, I don't want, I think the Willie Z craze has settled down a little bit after, it kind of peaked at the Masters and then it started going down since then. Just not really a fan of Willie Z this week. Love him in general. Love his game. I think he's going to be, a great player on tour for a long time. But right now, I'm not going to play him. I will avoid him this week. So there you go.
Okay. All right, hit me with your 6K. I got a ton of names down here, so
there's a lot of guys in the 6K range. I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, there's so many guys that you can talk about that I like. I'll start with Kiz. I like Kiz this week. I think this is a good course for Kiz. He's been playing better recently. Very accurate off the tee, great scrambler, top 10 in putting on Bermuda greens. His approach and ball striking, leaves a little bit to be desired, but still, I like him a lot this week. I like Homa. Max Homa is like 150 to 1 in odds this week. Top 25 in the field in both ball striking and approach. 11th in that par 4 scoring stat I mentioned, 450 to 500 yards. He's pretty decent on Bermuda greens. It's not his best surface, but still, I like Homa. I think he's kind of coming in on the radar here. I feel like he'll probably be low owned. And then a couple others I'll give you. Stuart Sink at 6,500. I like him as well this week. You know, you look at his history here. I mean, it's pretty daggum good. I mean, he is he's obviously played here a ton because he's old. But he has not played a WGC event here. But before that, he finished 10th and 4th and 4th and
Fort.
and 4th and 4th.
He finished 4th.
Finished 10th and 4th in 2016 and 2017 and 2018. I like Sink this week, and then Lucas Glover at 6,400.
Yeah, Glover's one I had to. Dude, let me tell you,
6,400 for Glover.
You know, my favorite play in this range, and I did like a real quick. You guys know, like we're not big model guys, okay? We're not, but I do when I pick the stats. If it's one of those weeks where I'm looking at stats, and this week is, when I do that on Fantasy National, I go ahead and give it like an initial weighting of what I think is most important in the mixed condition model on Fantasy National. That's what I like to use. And my very first just gut initial model today spit out Sam Burns 9th overall in the model. And it's because over the last 24 rounds, he's 15th in approach, 31st off the tee, 20th around the green, 3rd in long-term strokes gained putting on Bermuda, 17th in the last 24 rounds in bogey avoidance. Just won a few weeks ago, runner-up right after that, 13th a couple weeks ago. Toss out the Open Championship, kind of poor performance. It was his first Open Championship. It's the Open, it's variable, whatever. But Sam Burns is a killer at 6,900 in a 4-round guaranteed event. He's a scorer. He's a stone cold killer. And he's Bermuda Burns, baby. I mean, what more do you want? He is easily my favorite play down here. And yes, I do see Cameron Davis's name down here, but Sam Burns is still my favorite in this range. I like him a lot. Agree with you on the Glover call. Ryan Palmer is another one that I'm looking at here.
I actually like that one too.
You know, good approach play, good total driving kind of situation for Ryan Palmer. Plenty of length off the tee. 15th here last year, and you know, if the wind does get going a little bit, which I anticipate it will on the weekend, Palmer's a good wind player for sure. And kind of a sneakier one maybe is Martin Laird. I think he's going to be a little sneakier. Still hitting the irons great. Not super long off the tee, but very accurate. You know, 28th is his most recent event. He played the John Deere Classic, finished 28th there. Has never played the WGC here before. Actually, let's see if he's played. I'm sure he's probably played the St. Jude. Let's see. Yeah, I played the St. Jude 4 times. Miscut, 58th, 60th, 24th. So not great. But I don't know. I just have a kind of a feeling on Martin Laird. That's it. But Burns is by far my favorite. Love Burns, Glover, Palmer, and then I think Laird is a little sneaky. That's it. That's it. All right, now we're gonna do something fun and new. We've never done this before. Are you ready for this, Pat? Do you even know what we're doing?
I don't know if I'm ready. What happened?
Pat doesn't know what we're doing. Producer Sam had this idea. I think it'll be a fun idea. We'll try it out, see what happens. You know, sometimes you just got to throw some mud on the wall, see if it sticks. That's what we do a lot of times at Tour Junkies.
Oh, I know what we're doing now. I do know what we're doing.
So producer Sam thought it would be fun for us to try and work together under the gun on the clock for me and Pat to build a GPP lineup. As if we were building a full lineup, we're gonna have to work together. It's like a group project in school. We gotta come to an agreement. We're gonna have to make some concessions, Pat. Okay. You know,
we gotta talk. We gotta talk.
We gotta communicate. Bones always said that he had like his like one call a tournament or something where he could tell Phil like he could use his card to say absolutely not, I'm not doing that. You know, so we may have to have one of those. But we're going to try to build a tournament lineup. So this is if we were playing in a GPP big, you know, maybe one of the big contests on DraftKings or something like that, or a big 3 max entry or something. So we got to have some ownership leverage, and we got to do it in 2 minutes or less. This is Sam's rule, and I just feel like that's going to go so freaking fast.
That's not going to work, Sam. But we'll try to do what you say.
Yeah. So we need to pull up because we don't have the fancy. We're not going to have DraftKings up on the screen right now. I don't think. I don't know what Sam's got planned back there, but Sam, tell us what to do from here on out, and we'll roll with it.
Well, I'm going to roll the clock for you.
Oh God! Okay.
But one of
we
you
gonna have
a
damn clock?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
2 minutes on the 2 minutes and 20 seconds, so it fits on Twitter. That's the goal.
2 minutes and 20.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 minutes 20 seconds.
So it has. Okay, so you didn't just
Yes.
come up with the 2 minutes. You were like thinking ahead, like this could actually be good on Twitter.
Yes, I was
Okay.
thinking algorithm, baby.
Okay.
But yeah, 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. One of you will need to take out your device and actually place this lineup.
I have it, but you can. I want to keep up with it too. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and then we'll debrief quickly, and then we'll be done.
All right.
You gonna tell us when?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you when your time starts. Are you ready?
Wait. No, I'm not ready. Hang on.
What are you doing? Looking at
I
OnlyFans? Setting up your OnlyFans account?
Yeah, I'm setting up the OnlyFans account. All right, I'm ready now.
All right, boys. And your time starts now.
Pat, what if we go Garcia, Hatton, English? The three guys we agreed on.
Garcia. Okay, I'm all in for that. That's good. We'll save some time.
Let's see, Garcia, Hatton, English. That leaves us with an average of like 9,200. I really love the Sam Burn. I would love to lock in Sam Burn.
I don't like Sam Burns. No, I do not want to put in Sam Burns.
Okay, then
No.
what about Fitzy? We both like Fitzy. Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, let's do Fitzy.
All right, now we have 94, 2 players left, 94.50 average salary. We could go big here.
I think let me add somebody here. Let me talk for once. I think we put in
Are you going to talk?
I think we put in Cantlay.
Oh God! Why would you do that to me? I just said I that's too soon, man.
Under 90 seconds.
Okay, I mean we got plenty of time. We've only got 2 guys to choose from. So let's. I like Spieth, but
okay, I can get down.
You think he's going to be pretty high owned?
Let's get him in there. And then what if we did? I don't like where this is going.
Whoa, let's go Webb. That would be good. Well, you leave no money on the table if you go.
1 minute left. 1 minute.
Answer so we can leave money on the table.
Answer.
Come on.
What about Connors though at 8,100? We didn't even talk about him.
I would do Connors. I would settle for Connors. Okay, that leaves us 400 on the table. Are we too chalky? Let's see.
40 seconds.
Speed's going to be chalk. Hatton's going to be chalk for sure. English, I feel like it's going to be chalk. We got some leverage. Connors might go under the radar.
I feel like Connors is going to be some leverage.
30 seconds. Who's going to be higher owned between Scheffler and Fitzpatrick?
We could actually move from Fitzy to Scheffler.
I know. Who's going to be higher owned?
I think Fitzy is.
15 seconds.
Let's go Scheffler.
All right, let's go Scheffler. I'm with you there.
I don't think we have enough money on the table.
Now leaves 100.
7, 6, 5.
I'll lock it in.
4.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, that was.
Let's review. What's the lineup?
The lineup is Jordan Spieth, then Scotty Scheffler, Corey Connors, Harris English, Tyrrell Hatton, and Sergio Garcia.
Yeah.
I
like this.
Yeah.
I think there's some leverage here.
This is going to be really hard to do again when we can't like immediately start off with 3 guys we both agree on. We both agree on.
That would be
Hatton, English, and Garcia.
We kind of took the easy route there by immediately going with 3 guys.
I definitely think Hatton and English are going to be popular. I feel like Sergio is going to slide under the radar a little bit. So I think we'll get a little bit of leverage with Sergio. It does feel like Connors is all of a sudden forgotten. So I think we'll get some leverage there. I don't know how much we'll get with Scheffler, but I do think that he may end up a little lower owned than Fitzy. So I think we helped ourselves there. Anyway, maybe leave a comment in the YouTube section. What do you think we did wrong? Who would you switch out? Do you hate the whole thing? All that. That'd be good. Yeah. Was that what you wanted it to be, Sam?
It was pretty good. I give it like a 7. Like I think maybe your low energy DB brought it down a little bit.
I like the theory of what we're doing here. I like this, but we need to we can add some energy and some disagreement. That would be good. But
my attempt to show the timer on screen didn't work so well though. So we'll edit that out.
Yeah. it's a real ratchet operation at times at Tour Junkies.
Wait till they see the wheel of misfortunes.
Yeah, that's true. The nut punch wheel of death that we have. All right. I think that's everything. We got the betting show coming up. Nut Up or Shut Up is going to be on. We're going to have a new contestant, new sponsor. I'm excited about that. I'm actually more excited to bet this golf tournament than I am play DFS. So maybe the energy will kick up a notch. So there you go. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment on the YouTube video once it's done. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well so you can be notified when we go live, when we do certain stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah, appreciate y'all. Spread that TJ gospel. See ya.